Many athletes perform some sort of regular warm-up and cool-off during training and racing. A suitable warm-up may step up the blood flow to the working muscle, which results in diminished muscle stiffness, less risk of trauma and bettered performance. Additional advantages of warming up include physiologic and psychological preparation. Warm-up. Advantages of a suitable warm-up: modified muscle temperature. The temperature step-ups inside muscles that are utilized during a warm-up routine. A warmed-up muscle both contracts more forcefully and loosens up more promptly. In that way, both speed and strength may be heightened. Likewise, the chance of pulling a muscle and causing trauma is far less. Modified body temperature. This betters muscle elasticity, likewise cutting back the risk of strains and pulls. Blood vessels enlarge. This brings down the resistance to blood flow and lower strain on the heart. Better efficient cooling. By triggering the heat dissipation mechanisms in the body, effective sweating, an athlete may cool expeditiously and help preclude overheating early in the event or race. Modified blood temperature. The temperature of blood increases as it goes through the muscles. As blood temperature climbs, the binding of oxygen to hemoglobin de-escalates, so oxygen is more readily usable for working muscles, which might better endurance. Bettered range of motion. The range of motion around a joint is modified. Hormonal shifts. Your body step-ups its production of assorted hormones responsible for regulating energy production. During warm-up, this equilibrium of hormones makes more carbs and fatty acids available for energy manufacturing. Mental prep. The warm-up is likewise a great time to mentally prepare for an event by clearing the mind, increasing centering, critiquing skills and technique. Favorable imagery may likewise relax the athlete and establish concentration. Typical warm-up exercises include, bit by bit, increasing the intensity of your particular sport. This utilizes the particular skills of a sport and is occasionally called a related warm-up. For runners, the idea is to jog for a while and add a few sprints into the routine to engage all the muscle fibers. Adding motions not related to your sport in a slow, steadfast fashion, calisthenics or flexibility exercises for instance. Ball players frequently utilize unrelated workout for their warm-up. Which to pick? The best time to stretch a muscle is after it has a modified blood flow and has modified temperature to prevent trauma. Stretching out a cold muscle may increase the risk of trauma from pulls and tears. So you're better off doing gradual aerobic workout prior to stretching. Bear in mind that the best time to stretch is after your workout, as your muscles are warm and pliable with the increase of blood in them. Make certain your warm-up starts out gradually, and utilizes the muscles that will be strained during workout. Keep in mind that the perfect warm-up is a very individual process that may only come with practice, experimentation and experience. Try warming up in various ways, at various intensities until you find what works best for you. Incorporate cardio training. With a big share of Americans overweight, it's clear that a lot of us are not abiding by the most recent exercise guidelines dictating up to an hour of exercise every day. In fact, there is no doubt a collective groan when individuals recognized they'd now have to find an hour every day to accomplish something they can't seem to find 5 minutes for. How crucial are these guidelines, and what may you do to make them fit into your life? Cardio basics. Before we get started, you ought to at least know why it's so crucial. Cardiovascular exercise merely means that you're involved in an activity that elevates your heart rate to a level where you're working, but may still talk, also known as, in your target heart rate. Here's why cardio is so crucial. It's one way to burn off calories and help you slim down. It makes your heart strong so that it doesn't have to work as grueling to pump blood. It step-ups your lung capacity. It helps bring down risk of heart attack, elevated cholesterol, hypertension and diabetes. It makes you feel great. It aids you in sleeping better. It helps bring down tension. I could go on all day, however you get the point. Bottom line, you require cardio if you want to get your weight in check and get your tension to a tolerable. The opening move as to what kind of activities you'd like to do. The trick is to consider what's accessible to you, what fits your personality and what you'd feel comfy fitting into your life. If you like to go outside, running, bicycling, hiking or walking are all great choices. If you love the gym, you'll have access to stationary bicycles, elliptical trainers, treadmills, row machines, Stairmasters and more. For the home exerciser, there are a number of first-class workout videos to try, and you don't require much equipment to get an exceptional home cardio workout. Bear in mind, you might not know what sort of activity you enjoy yet. That's all part of the experience, so don't be frightened to try something, and, if it doesn't work, go on to something else. Just about any activity will work provided it demands a motion that gets your heart rate into your target zone. Remember, there's no most proficient cardio exercise. Anything that you like and that gets your heart rate up fills the bill. It's not what you do, but how hard you work. Any exercise may be challenging if you make it that way. Do something you love. If you detest gym workouts, don't force yourself onto a treadmill. If you love socializing, think about sports, group fitness, exercising with an acquaintance, or a walking club. Pick out something you can see yourself doing at least 3 days a week. Be flexible and don't be frightened to branch out once you get well situated with exercise. Use weights if you wish to lose fat or alter your body. One of the most crucial things you can do is lift weights. Diet and cardio are as important, however, when it comes to altering how your body looks, weight training wins lifting basics. If you've hesitated to begin a strength training regimen, it might motivate you to know that lifting weights can help elevate your metabolism. Muscle burns off a lot of calories too, so the more muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn off all day long. Fortify bones, particularly crucial for women, make you stronger, and better muscular endurance help you prevent injuries, better your confidence and self-pride, better coordination and balance. Getting going with strength training may be confusing. What exercises can you do? How many sets and reps? How much lifting? The routine you pick out will be based on your fitness goals as well as the tools you have available and the time you have for exercises. If you're establishing your own program, you'll have to understand some basic strength training rules. These rules will teach you how to make certain you're utilizing adequate weight, determine your sets and reps, and ensure you're always advancing in your workouts. To build muscle, you have to utilize more resistance than your muscles are used to. This is crucial, as the more you do, the more your body is capable of doing, so you ought to increase your workload to prevent plateaus. In plain language, this implies you ought to be lifting enough weight that you may just complete the desired number of reps. You ought to be able to finish your last rep with difficulty but likewise with great form. To prevent plateaus or adaptation, you have to increase your intensity regularly. You are able to do this by increasing the amount of weight lifted, altering your sets, reps, altering the exercises, and altering the sort of resistance. You are able to make these alterations on a weekly or monthly basis. Specificity. This principle means you ought to train for your goal. That means, if you wish to increase your strength, your regimen ought to be designed around that goal, e.g., train with bigger weights closer to your 1 rep max. To slim down, select an assortment of rep ranges to target assorted muscle fibers. Rest days are even as crucial as workout days. It's during these respites that your muscles grow and change, so make certain you're not working the same muscle groups 2 days in a row. Before you get going on setting up your routine, keep a couple of key points in mind. Constantly warm up before you begin lifting weights. This helps get your muscles warm and prevent trauma. You may warm up with light cardio or by doing a light set of every exercise before moving to heavier weights. Elevate and lower your weights slowly. Don't utilize momentum to lift the weight. If you have to swing to get the weight up, probabilities are you're utilizing too much weight. Don't hold your breath and make certain you're utilizing full range of motion throughout the motion. Stand up straight. Pay attention to your posture and use your abs in every motion you're doing to keep your balance and protect your spine. Eat healthy. Healthy eating isn't about rigorous nutrition doctrines, remaining unrealistically thin, or stripping yourself of the foods you like. Instead, it's about feeling good, having more energy, steadying your mood, and keeping yourself as healthy as you can, all of which may be accomplished by learning a few nutrition basics and utilizing them in a way that works for you. You may expand your range of healthy food selections and learn how to plan ahead to produce and maintain a tasty, healthy diet. Good habits. To set yourself up for success, consider planning a healthy diet as a number of little, manageable steps instead of one big drastic shift. If you approach the shifts gradually and with dedication, you'll have a healthy diet sooner than you believe. Rather than being overly concerned with calculating calories or measuring portion sizes, consider your diet in terms of color, assortment, and freshness. This way it ought to be easier to make healthy selections. Center on finding foods you love and simple recipes that incorporate a couple of fresh ingredients. Step by step, your diet will get healthier and more delicious. Begin slow and make shifts to your eating habits over time. Attempting to make your diet sound overnight isn't realistic or bright. Shifting everything at once commonly leads to cheating or quitting on your new eating program. Make little steps, like adding a salad full of different color veggies to your diet once a day or changing from butter to olive oil while cooking. As your little changes become habit, you are able to continue to add sounder choices to your diet. Each change you make to better your diet matters. You don't have to be perfect and you don't have to totally do away with foods you enjoy to have a sound diet. The long-term goal is to feel great, have more energy, and reduce the risk of cancer and disease. Don't let your stumbles derail you. Each healthy food selection you make counts.